Hey, this is Jim from Delano Mountain Custom Models. So this is the hardest build I ever did. So this is a multi-week build, working on it like 4 or 5 hours a day. So you can see this Fowler container crane, beautiful, huge crane. And here you can see the instruction book. You can see it's like 32 pages. I just kind of page through it. Each part of it is just this immense build, putting together all the pieces, a bazillion parts. These are all the parts that are left over from the sprue. There were like duplicate parts on the sprues, but there was like a million parts, etc. So I finally got this done. Why don't we take a walk over to the layout here? So there it is. And I'm gonna walk over and kind of show you that in a little bit more detail, but like really turned out nice. You can see it's on rails, and those rails run up and down, and I'll show you those rails. Excuse me a second while I go under the table. But here you can see a little bit up close. You can see a spiral staircase. It has some boxes here. I still need to work on these like a little bit, getting them supported a little bit better. But everything else, the center piece of this is this crane. I glued one of the containers to it. You can see the containers loading a truck. In between the rails, there's going to be, yellow stripes on each side to have the trucks be able to go out. I moved some of the equipment back just temporarily here, but if I just push this with my hand, this crane, you can see the crane just goes up and down on those rails, and you could just kind of position. Sorry about that, I should probably do that. Yes, so you can see the crane just kind of goes up and down on those rails, just like a real crane would. Gets positioned, etc. And then if we look at it from this position, you can see the back end of it, and that would run the whole length of the intermodal yard all the way to the end. And so you'd be able to theoretically unload like the whole train with one of those container cranes, that is. So you can see that spans over 6 tracks, and it runs on rails on the top, back and forth. You can see the rails right here, and so that just goes back and forth. And here you can see it just goes back and forth, and it spans all 6 tracks. And so you could position it anywhere and have it unload and load. So I thought this was the coolest build I ever did. It was the most complex build I ever did. I still have to weather that. I'm just gonna let everything kind of settle in for a while, make sure everything's 100% perfect on it. You could see the spiral staircase. It's just very difficult. This was like almost impossible to build. There's some parts like this that are still kind of leaning a little bit. You look down here, that step's kind of leaning a little bit. I'm gonna have to do something, get that glued. I don't like to use cyanoacrylate glue on most of the parts, except for the ones that are like actually hanging and weight bearing. Most of that is assembled, not the crane itself, not all the internal components, but all the railings and stuff are spray adhesive glue that I just apply. And so some of that is going to have to be, because the advantage of the spray adhesive glue is that you can use that glue to reposition, and I can reposition it after like even a week. It'll set after weeks, but even with a week, you could, you still have the ability to reposition it. Cyanoacrylate, if you mess up, you messed up. Anyhow, I just wanted to show this build. That's the last build while I am unemployed, and hopefully I'll be getting a job soon. But I was able to do that build, and like I showed you guys in the last video, I was able to do that build there with the engine house. Got all my engines weathered, got all my cars weathered, got all the lighting done down here. I'm ready to get back to work again. But there you go, that's my intermodal yard. Hopefully you guys like it. Talk to you later.